So thank you for attending our webinar. And just a reminder, there's a bunch of things you will receive. So this is from Terry, a 1-month supply of lysolin capsules. I'm probably not doing that justice. My apologies. Each capsule contains a patented blend of ingredients tested in published clinical studies shown to maintain healthy blood sugar. We want to have that. A home HbA1c test kit, a free 30-minute discovery call, and I won't read each one of these, but free downloads of our Final Edge book system. This is Terry's, and including all these books. So it's Look and Feel Your Best, Peak Performance, the recipe book, our Final Edge training journal. The promo code for all of these, by the way, is that right there, DM free at checkout, and then you can get all of those, not just one of them, but all of them. You also get a free download of our Conquer Diabetes logbook, same promo code to use, and a special thank you bag from Healing Hands, who I believe works closely with Terry, and that would be providing you with artisanal soap and lotion. It's over a $247 value, and you get it free. You don't have to pay anything just for having attended this webinar and listened to me rant and rage about the power of plants and why you want to go that road and not the animal road. Now, if you haven't provided your address for shipping, please contact us or contact Terry. There's his email address with that information so he can ship these free products to you. So that is the last slide. If you have questions or comments, I've got a few questions that people have asked me. So if you don't have any questions, if you do have questions or comments, please let me know. If not, I'll give you 1 or 2 others because we're still got a couple minutes left on our clock, and I think you may find them interesting. So go ahead. All right. Well, I'll read to you 1 or 2 of these, and then we'll wrap it up here. So, why do we have 2 kidneys when only 1 is needed to survive? Because sometimes, and here's the reason why. So think about it. We have 2 kidneys. We can operate on 1. We can live on 1. Because sometimes we lost 1 to infection or injury, and in such situations, it was a darn good idea to have a spare. Kind of similar to why our liver is pretty good at regrowing, because sometimes we needed it to. Being overbuilt for average or normal use was and is a real survival advantage for those times that were not normal or average. And when we're evolving, those not normal times will inevitably occur. So having a backup or having extra capacity for normal times, it was great to have that extra capacity for those times when you needed every bit of that capacity. So why do we have an appendix? That's one where people go, right? When I was growing up, they said, well, it's an organ that we don't need anymore. Who knows what it was, an extra stomach or something like that. It's on its way to going away. Well, that's not the prevailing thought that I've learned. So why do we still have an appendix? And maybe a better question is, why do we have one in the first place? And it is, here's why. It's a repository for good bacteria, remember our microbiome, to repopulate our colons after our microbiome had been destroyed by pathogens, which, as we know, probably happened all too often when we were evolving. So it was really good to have a supply of our normal microbiome ready for those times when it had been destroyed, attacked and destroyed. We need those guys to survive. It was never a second stomach. And let's see, let's do 1 more here. Well, I'll do two more. So isn't organic beef better to eat than non-organic broccoli? I think you know the answer, but I'll tell you, not a chance. That's like giving yourself a better stateroom on the Titanic. Food first, then try to optimize its format. So you want to have the right food, and then you can try and get it in the right format. Broccoli is the right food. Beef is not the right food. You can pretty up that pig, so to speak, and it's still going to be beef. Broccoli, yeah, sure, organic is better, but if not, it still beats the pants off of beef. So isn't olive oil good? Last question. Isn't olive oil good? I mean, it's what makes the Mediterranean diet so healthy. I think most people have heard of the Mediterranean diet. They're so healthy, they live a long time, they're happy, they're smiling, they're dancing and jumping up and down. It's not, and it is being healthy, okay? So let's take that in the way of oil in the Mediterranean diet. When you think of the Mediterranean diet, what's the one thing you think of? Olive oil. Olive oil. But meanwhile, here's the reality. All oil is nothing but nutrient-free liquid fat. Nutrient-free liquid fat. There's 120 calories per tablespoon. It's the most dense source of calories you can find. 120 calories in 1 tablespoon. We evolved just fine without it, and we're still better off without it. The Mediterranean diet is, in fact, healthy to the degree that it is healthy, despite its presence, not because of its presence. So that's the deal with olive oil, extra virgin or whatever you want to call it, cold pressed. Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make any difference if you call it olive oil, canola oil, flaxseed oil, motor oil. None of it's any good for you. So there you go. If there's any questions or comments, and by the way, you can always send me an email if you have a question or a comment. I believe my email is on the front there. It's drothenstein@yahoo.com. And hopefully you got a couple of smiles and some chuckles and another way to look at things and what we eat. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.